Hello, everyone. Welcome to Innovative Cafe, a podcast that bridges the people and the world of AI and innovation. Please follow us for the applications, insights, and emerging trends. Today, we are very honored to have three special guests. I'd like to have them introduce themselves very quick. Maybe we can start with Joe.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Yu. I'm a professor at Columbia in computer science. I'm also a founder of Arclex AI. Arclex is a company that delivers an AI agent framework that supports scale deployment, frictionless automation, and improving over time.
Hello, it's very honored to be on this podcast and also have the opportunity to talk with everyone here. I'm Chuan Lai. Previously, I worked at Uber and Robinhood on their machine learning platforms. 2 years ago, I started my own company, which is called ChatSlide. So initially, we help people to create slides, and now we kind of morphed into a personal knowledge playground where everyone can upload a lot of their personal resources, and then they can generate their own LLM and create all kinds of different content from our platform, including personal avatar, including slides, videos, etc. It really empowers a lot of knowledge workers.
Go ahead, Anissa.
Folks, my name is Nisa. It's really an honor to be here. So previously I was building Alexa at Amazon for 5 years, and after I spent 3 years working for TikTok monetization platform. So 2 years ago I quit and started my own startup. It's called Holiday. To begin with, we started building the AI knowledge base for general customers, and later we switched to bring agents to small size and medium agents to cover the SOPs for our clients. Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, I'm Vicky. I'm the podcast host, and Tom.
Many people say that 2025 is the agentic AI's year. So we are very excited to see many companies doing agentic AI. The first question is regarding your company, how do you each define next generation work? And what problems are you most focusing on solving today with AI? Yeah, maybe we can still start with Joe.
Yes. So we work on agents workflow automation. So I'll give you an example. If you're a salesperson, a lot of your top funnel could be automated through agent workflows. So this is what we do. And we mostly help people to scale these workflows and at the same time use AI to help you to maintain the workflow. They don't have an agent like the human beings to maintain it. You can use AI to automatically maintain it for you.
People have already mentioned last year that 2024 is a year of agents. And 2025 is also the year of agents, but also the year of many other new technologies. So I'm very excited about this. So basically, I think the next generation of AI is about reducing the cognitive load. A lot of people are talking about AI native product. What are the AI native products? So basically, it feels that you are not really learning a lot of things. It's like you have an AI copilot or AI buddy that helps you, or even AI agent that helps you with certain kind of tasks. So for example, if you are using ChatSlide, it feels like you are actually have someone who is like a human being that help you create a certain slide, read a certain kind of content, and update a certain part of the document. So I feel that's the next generation of workflow, and that's like how we are going to solve it. We probably build AI agents that can understand all the context of all this, like slides or any other kind of workflow, and then help people with all those kind of tasks.
Yeah, same as John. I'm super excited about the so-called agent year of 2025. So back to what we are doing here right now. So we are basically trying to bring agents to the real users in enterprise. So we are building agents for salespeople as well as like the design teams. So our clients, including the e-commerce streaming companies and also the publishing companies. At the very beginning, when we started a startup, we were being like the AI knowledge base for general consumers. But later, like we figure out, like there's still a huge gap between like, the actual users in the business and the frontier AI models. We got pretty good products from Google, from OpenAI, from Anthropic. But there are for more general data uses. You get a question, you like users use them as the new search engine. You trying to get an answer, you trying to get, like a piece of documents or PRD or things like that. But in the real business, there are complex workflows and as well as SOPs. For example, like one of our clients is the live streaming in e-commerce. They got like hundreds and thousands of digital assets they need to create every day. They want the abilities to add it on the top of generated contents from AI. So we're building specific agents for them to accelerate those process. We're trying to bring up the efficiency. So that's what we are doing here right now. We're trying to bring the AI agents into the space to help them to bring up the efficiency. And we call them AI interns. That's much more friendly to the actual users. So they just use the agents to speed out their work, and they can always keep themselves in the loop. That's what we do right now.
I have a follow-up question for Joe, basically, because I want to learn more about your framework. Actually, AI framework, there are many competitive components and the people. So what's the uniqueness of your framework, and what can really be called next generation from your side?
So we are basically a tool to help engineers to build agents faster, safer, and more scalable. So the unique things comes to two things. One is about scalability. So if you think about you using other frameworks like LangChain or you build your own, it's very fast to build a prototype, but you wanted to scale it and deploy it in real enterprise, you hit a wall because you run into concurrency issues like provisioning issues and all this, right? Because many of these AI engineers or data scientists who build the agent are not backend people. They don't have enough backend knowledge to scale it up. And then like your existing services for that wasn't enough. So you hit a wall. So what we provide is a seamless transition from fast prototyping into scalable deployment. So just as simple as by our enterprise version, we already did all the auto scaling for you. It's easier to do it that way. And the other part is really on the, we call it, we use reinforcement learning to help you to update your workflow. So you start with whatever is the best for you at this moment. But when end users come in and interact with your agent, we can optimize the flow and orchestration based on the end user's goal. For example, sales is how much things you can sell, or automations, customer service is how many questions you can resolve, right? So these metrics could backpropagate and change your orchestration to further improve your workflow efficiency.
It can largely reduce the workload and streamline the workflow, which is really nice. Chenlai and Nathan, just a follow-up question of Joe's description, right? Will you guys try to build up the agent, right? Did you guys encounter those problems? Maybe share some of your thoughts.
Yeah, so I can probably share a little bit about my experience. So first, I think like when we are building the agents, the first question is that does the agent know all the context? Basically, what we think about agent is that agent will be a kind of replacement of human being. Like if human being can make certain decisions, agents should also be able to do that and in a more efficient, faster way. But when we are building the AI agent, what we figure out is that AI agent might not always be able to understand what we are asking them to do, especially if the task is related to something visual. For example, if something is text, if I ask the agent to help me summarize a certain kind of text and choose the best way to move forward, then agent is going to do that pretty well. But if agent is going to work on something that includes visual, for example, if the agent is going to look at my screen and say, you need to click this to cancel the subscription, then that's a little bit hard. But that's also the fun part of developing the AI agent. There are a lot of new technologies around this, and we are actively exploring this field.
Yeah, I think for us, because we're basically building customized agents for different clients, right? I think the more important question for us is about, I think what Joe was referring about the matrix, how we analyze the delivery results, whether it's good for whether it's useful for the client, how the clients like it. So in our cases, we figured out when we talk to the clients, most of them understand like, okay, AI is still faster growing, and we're probably not going to use AI to replace like humans. So they are more focusing on like, how many times you can save for each individuals in the organizations. For example, when we're creating these agents for the design teams, trying to create a digital assets, so they basically estimate the effects of our agents by like, if we're creating 500 exercise, it used to take them like, 4 people's and cost them 3 days. But for us, if we finish it like, within 3 hours with only 1 people, they're super happy with that. So for us, when we, like trying to most important problem for us, so we need to define the right matrix and the estimations and analysis. Yeah.
Yeah, so Joe, just a quick get back to you, right? Like in your framework, sounds like some of the pinpoints you identify and they encounter already. I don't know, at your framework, did you guys have some solutions on those?
Currently, we don't support like videos. We only support audios and text. But a multimodal is always very difficult because it makes the workflow even more complicated to auto scale. On the other side, I think a couple of other things I want to stress is also AI agents is very diverse. Their workflow requirements sometimes are different. If you're front office facing, then for example, long sessions, because people may chat with you for a long time. How do you maintain long sessions when doing auto scale? And the other part is about real-timeness. If it's a customer-facing real-time agent, you want to make sure that your latency is within a certain millisecond, right? And if you have users from everywhere, then you want to make sure how can you actually store data in different regions in your cloud in order to be able to serve them and reduce latency. So it's a very complex problem when the scale is up and then the requirements are very tight.
I see. Well, this is a very good discussion. Let's move to the next question, right? Collaboration is often seen as the final frontier of AI in knowledge work, right? How do you ensure that your tools enhance teamwork rather than replace or complicate it?
Our product itself is actually about helping people to communicate with each other. For example, we help people create slides, we help people create posters, we help people create videos. All of them are like medias for communication, right? So inherently, we help people to do more teamwork, to do more communication rather than just replace them. And at the same time, there's another problem. So basically, we want to actually enable people to share their knowledge. However, we don't want to just hijack all people's knowledge and then create something that is not relevant to this person at all. So first, it will revolve around understanding the intent context and also the person's like knowledge. And then at the same time, we help people to actually keep human in the loop. This is really important. We still want the people to actually interact with us rather than us taking 100% of all the work. We are not the dishwasher, which is totally okay to take 100% of people's life. But what if user want to tweak the tone? What if user want to adjust something or anything like change the narration? So now we enable people to actually to build the AI agent to enable people to actually change the content as they want. And then we can actually create higher quality content. And that is much easier. And also that conveys the user's intention, knowledge, and also their brand ideas, etc. And that will actually, for example, 10x users' productivity. At the same time, keep people in the loop, not replacing human being.
Yeah, sure. So I have a different view because when we talk to our users, I think there's a balance between the collaboration as well as working individually. I think like, with the AI agents, we basically become like a meta-human or, like we are more powerful and capable of doing multiple type of things. Some things like we're not able to do or, like we do it like not as efficient as today. And when we like doing the investigations, trying to understand the SOP and build up our know-hows with our users, I figure out like there's a lot of inefficiency was brought up by the communication within the teams. For example, like so for one of our clients, their marketing teams has to talk to their design teams every day, trying to get the posters and all the social assets they need to do the marketing. And they don't have the skills. They're not capable to build up all those posts or make the designs by themselves. But when we deliver an agent, they don't need to depend on the design teams anymore. So in terms of collaboration, like we're like they don't need to collaborate with the design team that much anymore. So we do bring up the communication, we do bring up the collaboration, but in the other way, we do bring up the efficiencies because there's a lot of like back and forth communications within the organizations today, and I think agents definitely is like giving more capabilities and giving more powers to individuals. And in terms of that, we do see like, uh, less collaborations, but that brings more efficient communications. So I would say like, it's probably a different type of collaborations with AI agents sit in the between of teams. And in that case, we do bring up the efficiencies. So that's my point of view.
Joe, how about you?
Yeah, so to me, I think the entire labor market will be reshaped because of the AI agents. Some of the jobs will be repositioned for other things, and this process could be very painful. We always say like the technology is easy, the people are hard because we're changing not only the technology, we're changing the process. We're changing the process of how things are getting done. That requires people to be rescaled, to be open to new changes. So that's very difficult for transformation. I think it's the same thing with electricity. We have to adapt because there's no way of going back. So this process is going to take some time. I think the first thing for everybody is to be aware and educate themselves about what AI can do and what AI cannot do, and really think ahead of time, what could they be doing things and utilizing AI to empower themselves, either rescaling themselves or either learn how to harness it to be able to make themselves more efficient or expand their work scope, bring more value to the company.
And just curious, right? From what you do so far, what do you think an agent can do very well, and what do you think an agent just cannot do at all?
So it's the same thing with all AI models. If you have clear rules about what is correct and what is incorrect, that's the best way for the AI to learn. Whatever it's very clear in terms of pipelines and processes, it's easier for the AI. Whenever it comes into data securities and other things, then it's always hard because of the barriers of being able to see the real data and be able to develop upon that. So there's always a couple of things we say. First is areas or verticals that have data security, privacy constraints are going to be a little bit later in terms of adoption. And then there's a couple of other things about the criteria is wasn't clear. For example, is this a good writing or is this a bad writing? Everybody could be slightly different. But did this agent sell the product or not? That's clear. So whatever things that are very clear, it's easier for the agent to learn.
That's probably the reason that the current large language model is based on transformer. It means the transformation of the whole world. Let's go to the next question. Since the rise of the LLMs and we see many, we say, emerging AI capabilities, right? We can mention a lot already. What are those emerging AI capabilities are you most excited about in your work or in your agent development? Or and also, what are those you think they are under-typed? And how are you preparing your product roadmap to leverage it?
So I think the general trend is that we can see the large language models. If they are not getting smarter, at least they are getting faster, they are getting cheaper. So this enables a lot of scenarios like we previously didn't see. For example, some products like Manus. I've tried Manus. It's not as perfect as many people expect, but I think it unlocks a lot of potential. For example, it might be able to actually create, for example, it might be able to actually give you answers for a lot of complex queries. For example, if I am going to Southeast Asia in 7 days, and please help me figure out the cheapest way. And I'm also having visa issues with probably Malaysia and Singapore, etc. It can help you with a lot of very detailed requests and figure that out. So previously, people cannot do that automatically. For example, you can do research online. For example, let's say at bookings.com, but bookings.com is not going to help you figure out your visa issue in Malaysia, or it's not going to figure out a hotel issue like in Cambodia. But I think with large language models, it can actually plan everything. Not 100% perfect, but maybe 80% perfect for you. And I think that's something very exciting for us.
Yes, thank you. How about you, Joe? Because you also have a strong background in academia together with industry. So from these 2 points, how do you see the emerging AI capabilities and how you predict the future AI like capabilities and roadmap?
Yeah, so definitely multimodal is one direction. Not only text, audio, and video, but also other modalities. I'm also very interested about sequential models because a lot of times it's not just words and images, it's about sequence of data points, like the stock market, the watches that you wear that has the haptic sensors or various other sensor data. You can actually mine information and knowledge from that to empower other applications. A couple of other things that I'm always very excited about is about the embodiment of these AIs. So that goes into robotics. So general robotics models that could potentially do manipulation, navigations all together. One other thing I'm really very interested and I'm working on a lot is teaching large language model with self-improvement and self-correction abilities. Because previously the models are trained on static traces. We're talking about static data on predicting next word, predicting next token, or is this a dog, is it a cat? There's no traces that is interactive. So right now we're doing a lot of work in terms of simulating environments, creating traces that are interactive so that the model can actually learn how to do interactive predictions. So for example, how to self-correct, teaching them the ability of self-improvement as well.
Yeah, so I think there are two things I'm pretty excited about. One is the agent-to-agent protocols released by Google. So right now we're still using the MCPs a lot because we're building individual agents for different departments. But I think in the near future, very soon, especially in the enterprise, there's going to be a lot of agents talking to agents directly to complete more complicated tasks. So that's definitely one thing we're looking into. For example, like a design agent talking to a sales agent or a marketing agent, things like that. So that's one thing. And the second thing is about a paper released by Richard Sutton and David Silver talking about the era of experience. So I really like last month as well. So it's more about how the AI models as well agents to learn from the experience, just like human. So I think we don't have any technologies around it yet, but a lot of people is working on that. I think that's something I'm super excited about as well, because you think about in the enterprise, so when we build agents, we're basically trying to mimic the SOPs and workflows of how human works. There's a lot of experience inside. So today we are defining the rules, we are defining the workflows, we are defining different types of criteria to make sure agent behaves as we want. But there are still a lot of learnings that we have to loop human inside, people like us. When we build agents, we pull in the SOPs, we pull in the learnings, we pull in the know-hows. But later on, I think they should be able to self-iterate themselves, the agents, learning from the experience, learning from the interactions between the human and the agent. So that's something we're also pretty excited about and looking into right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.